Yeah, and that's going to be the case for a lot of Oklahoma Sooners this spring and fall. Who are some true freshmen that are going to be able to potentially earn a role? We'll discuss that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Jay, it was moving weekend for the Oklahoma Sooners during a snowy, wintry mess. I hope everybody was out there, was safe, and got through it okay, and didn't have any major issues. So we had a really good mailbag question sent in. We're going to try and do this more and more over the offseason. So if you've got questions, hit us up at Locked On Sooners on all your favorite social media platforms, or you can email us lockedonsooners@gmail.com, or you can leave a reply in the YouTube comment. Just type in bold question for mailbag so we can see it. Jay, this one comes from our guy, Raid Zaman over on X. He asks, which freshman do you think could see significant playing time and have an impact year one?
So let's pull one from both sides of the ball. If I'm going to pull one on offense, the obvious would be one of the offensive linemen because that's kind of the expectation, right? But I'm going to be honest. I think Elijah Thomas is going to be the one that's going to jump out and get a lot of playing time early. He was the Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year and the Oklahoma Player of the Year. The kid is good, special, super athletic, great in space. All you got to do is get the ball in his hands. He's going to make something happen. I think that's going to help him propel himself as a true freshman into a lot of playing time and potentially a starting role at some point. You may be able to get something close to a Jeremiah Smith type situation with him with his athleticism. And that's not hyperbole. I watched him play at Chakota. Kid can ball. So I think if Emmett Jones can get that going, that'll really help with my Emmett Jones needs a raise campaign that I've been doing for years. I've gotten him a few raises. I would like to get him more. So I need him to get one of these young players out there to show out. But I think Elijah Thomas is my offensive player. Who you got, John?
Man, my
I know
brain wants
stuff.
me to go with one of the offensive tackles, Ryan Foje or Michael Fasusi.
Yep.
And I want to lean Foje, but I'm going to go off the beaten path here. And I'm going to say Owen Hollenbeck.
Ooh.
And I know that seems really crazy to project a true freshman to play a lot of snaps as a center early in his career. Maybe. Listen, the dude is strong. The dude knows how to play with leverage. He has impressed. And I just think that, I don't know. If there's one guy I think that could come in and earn snaps right away along the offensive line, I think that could be the guy. Because again, he can play both guard positions. He can play interior. He can play center. And listen, I like Troy Everett. I appreciate the work that he's put in. At the same time, I don't think he's, somebody that isn't replaceable along the offensive line. Now you want that leader out there. You expect him to be out there. He's going to start for you. At the same time, if Owen Hollenbeck comes in and just blows him away, it wouldn't surprise me to see them start to work him up the depth chart. Again, he plays offensive line, he's a wrestler in high school.
Power lifter.
Yeah. Strong dude. Now, for a not off the beaten path one, give me Ryan Foje.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I lean a little bit more Foje over Fasusi, and it's not that I don't believe that Fasusi is going to live up to being the five-star stats that he is. I really think he does. And I think at some point he works his way into the starting lineup over the next year, probably sometime this season, because I think that he's just that talented. But Foje comes with an additional edge, with the way that he propelled up. Because, I mean, Fasusi was always roughly one of your top five tackles in the country on every recruiting board, just about as soon as they started to do the 25 classes. Foje came in as a three-star. I remember doing a video on him when he committed, John, and the comment section was losing their mind. Oh, three-star you, here we go, doing this again, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, y'all, I don't think y'all understand. this is something different. He's got the exact size of him and Fasusi are the same size. They both got the same great movement. They're both fluid. They've got great leverage. And I think Foje just needs to polish himself a little bit more. And then boom, he propelled to a top 10 tackle in the country with ease, top 100 player. And it's like, okay, how do you go from the 400s and you just fly up into the top 100? That means you got talent and people just didn't notice it. When they
Mhm.
started seeing it and seeing it in camps, John, changed the game. So I think Bill Bedenbaugh found himself a big time diamond in the rough with that one. So I totally agree with you there.
Well, and just one more thing on Foje, like you're seeing the potential because this week at the All American Bowl that he participated in, he played all three positions along the offensive line: offensive tackle, guard, and center, showing
Yep.
that Bill Bedenbaugh flexibility that he's going to be able to offer. So there's potential he could play significant snaps at any number of offensive line spots.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing about Bill Bedenbaugh is that he makes sure his linemen know how to play every position just in case. That's why the guys at the league like him because all of his guys are roughly plug and play guys. In an emergency situation, psh, you play Bill Bedenbaugh, perfect. Get your butt in there and play guard real quick. I need you to
Yeah.
play center for this couple of snaps. That's what they look for. They like that capabilities because I've heard that tackles can move down in interior, but it's hard to get guard interior guys to go to the outside.
Mhm.
It's just like a difference in skill set or whatnot. But with Bill Beatonbow, he's making it to where all of them can do that. When I'm looking at defense, though, because like I said, it's moving weekend. If I'm looking at defense as far as a young player goes, John, think Malik Hawkins or Tristan Haynes are going to find a way out there to play corner. I just think one of those two are going to just stand out and be that good. They both got the size. I think that Tristan needs to gain a little bit more weight, but Malik's already there. Already got the size. He's probably going to be close to almost 200 by the time he gets here. Probably stay in the 180, 190 range, but a spring with Schmitty, both of them going to be nice and strong. And Tristan is just really good with his angles and the way that he can defend at corner. Yeah, one of those two are going to probably find a way to get on the field.
Yeah, and I think defense is a really hard spot just because you are pretty deep. Corner is about the
Hmm.
place where you don't necessarily feel the best because you just got a lot of young guys. And so that creates opportunity for some of those younger corners to move up the depth chart pretty rapidly, like Eli
Yeah,
and Bowen did. So it wouldn't be surprising at all to see that. I think the guy I'm kind of leaning toward and similar to why you thought about Ryan Foje just playing with an edge, playing with a chip on his shoulder. That's O'Marion Robinson. Like I think that's a
yeah.
dude that I think he feels like he's still got a lot to prove. Where I think it was rivals that really shot him up their recruiting rankings, while others weren't so high on him. I think that's a guy that, even though safety is very, very deep, I think that's a guy that could play some significant snaps for you, or at least push for a lot of special team snaps at the very least. Do similar to what Reggie
Early.
Powers and Jaden Hardy and Michael Boganowski did this year, where they find a role for him on teams because his athleticism is so good, his physicality, his demeanor is what they're looking for on those teams units. And again, hey, if you only play special teams as a true freshman, but you play a lot of special teams as a true freshman, that says a
That's a
lot
good
about
thing.
what the coaching staff thinks of you and your trajectory with the program, because they don't just put anybody out there on teams. You got to earn a spot out there on teams. So those are kind of the two guys. And then another one just kind of off the beaten path here, and Alexander Shield Knight, a dude with just really good athleticism and size. I don't think he will, but I don't know. There's just something about that kid that, again, just flying under the radar, and he's got the size, he's got the athleticism. I could see maybe finding some snaps for him.
I don't think he plays this year, so I'm correct. He got injured in the last game of the season in high
Oh,
school, and I
dang.
think
How did
that
I miss
he's
that?
done for the year.
Well,
So
never mind.
I don't think he has a chance. But
I want Men
I
in Black
totally get what
zap
you
that.
mean. Right there. No, but I think one name though, Trent Wilson,
Yep.
DT, because he shot up. He was MVP at one of the camps last year, and yeah, he's one that definitely shot up as well. He's the lone defensive lineman we took in this last class, so we're gonna have to definitely load up for more in 26 as well as in the portal. Get a young. That's probably where you want to go find yourself a young player that's got about 3 or 4 years of eligibility. We were trying for a few, so we'll see what that looks like, but having him Yeah, I think that he's one that could be one of the big shockers as well. But with it being move-in weekend, there was a picture that was posted. Emmett Jones was with all the wide receivers that all the new 6 wide receivers that we added from the 2 recruits as well as the 4 transfers. Shout out to Stoops Bros. They posted with actual names on top of it so you can actually identify them. And John, move-in weekend, I'm pretty excited. I talked about Elijah Thomas. I think that he's going to probably be the one that stands out the most, but Manny Choice is going to probably be something dangerous. And Giovanni Gibson, we got to talk about wide receiver room later on this week.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those position groups that flies under the radar going into 2025, but it won't take long for people to be like, oh, okay.
Like, all right, this is a lot better than I thought.
Mission accomplished. What did we learn from the college football playoff semifinals this weekend? We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooner.